Guys, it's Benny. Some really excellent news to get your weekend started here. Remember Kilmar? Aptly named because he's a member of a bloodthirsty, deadly satanic gang, the MS-13. He's in prison in El Salvador. Democrat senators were running to El Salvador to lick his boots and lick the salty rims of their margarita glasses here in order to worship Kilmar and have him as the cause celeb for their fight against Trump's deportations. The problem is they've chosen the wrong celebrity here. Kilmar's ex-wife said that he was a gang member. In fact, he's threatened to kill his wife, saying that nobody could do anything to him. Kilmar's wife here in the States, who's also been turned into a miniature celebrity by the left, didn't really have a great defense of him in the one time they let her do an interview on TV.
Ask it. You did take out a temporary order of protection against your husband in 2021. Were you in fear of your husband?
Husband is alive. That's all I can say.
Okay, and I'm not going to push on that apparently, but how much hope?
Wife of the year right there. Well, okay, lady, you better get used to Kilmar being, well, in prison because there was one very demonstrable, damning piece of evidence that popped up in this whole Kilmar case. Tennessee body cam of Maryland man traffic stop shows troopers hands tied despite smuggling clues. Kilmar is a human smuggler. He's a member of a gang that does human smuggling. That's how they make money. They make billions of dollars a year. Human trafficking, child smuggling, so on and so forth. Kilmar Garcia, also a known pederast. Did you know that? Did you know that Democrats are once again defending known pederasts? I'll get to that in just a second. But there's this body cam footage that everyone has seen. I'm going to play it for you in just a second of Kilmar Garcia in a van stacked with people. I mean, there's like 10 Guatemalans in this van. None of them speak any English. None of them have any ID. None of them have any addresses. None of them can say what they're doing in the country. None of them can answer where they work. It's just Kilmar, and his pockets are shoved full of cash. That's it. Kilmar, like pockets lined with money, getting stopped by the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Luckily, the Tennessee Highway Patrol called the FBI, run by Joe Biden, and they said, let him go. Well, they're not doing that any longer. Ladies and gentlemen, the Department of Justice has decided that the video of Kilmar, human smuggling, is going to kill his chances of ever being a free man again. Pam Bondi officially announced that Kilmar Garcia is going to be returned to the United States. Yay, libs are celebrating. We beat Trump. Oh, wait. He's returning because the DOJ uncovered that he made over 100 human smuggling trips for criminal aliens. A grand jury has indicted him for human trafficking. Kilmar's full-time job was a human trafficker. He also frequently abused women. This is the Democrats' hero. Bondi says that Garcia will eventually be returned back to El Salvador after his American prison sentences. Very good. Stephen Miller going to town here. Let's just bask in the glory for a second. The alien terrorist from El Salvador will be jailed, sentenced, and incarcerated for the many grave crimes that he's been uncovered, and then he will be deported back to El Salvador again. What a moronic headline. MS-13 illegal alien Garcia was correctly deported to his home nation of El Salvador. While subsequently indicted after the new evidence, especially heinous crimes, he's now being prosecuted, lengthy prison sentence, and then is back home to El Salvador. This is Senator Van Hollen. You may recall him here with the salty margarita. What a fool. There's no process for deporting criminal aliens with a final removal order, no matter how much he's admired by the Democrats. He's here because new evidence has resulted in massive criminal indictment. He'll be tried, jailed, deported again to El Salvador. Some of the one of the points of the indictment, which is right here, is that Kilmar Garcia was, let's just say, addicted to abusive, horrific, deeply illegal material online. Okay, let's just fill in the blanks. Okay, go read the documents yourself. He's a predator. All right, a proper predator. This is the monster Democrats made to be a hero. This is who they tried to set free. This illegal predator will now face hard justice. Here we go. DOJ's motion. Kilmar Garcia is a member of MS-13, smuggled thousands of criminal aliens through the United States, transported MS-13 gang members inside the U.S., transported kids, abused women, solicited CP. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this guy is freaking cooked. The Maryland father is now a Tennessee prisoner going back home. Nayib Bukele, he's the leader of El Salvador, saying, I would never smuggle a terrorist into the United States. I would never release a gang member into the streets of El Salvador. That said, I'm going to work with the Trump administration. If they request the return of a gang member to face charges, I'm not going to refuse. No more margaritas under custody. Smoked. Libs down bad, shrieking here from MSNBC breaking news. He was mistakenly deported to El Salvador. They're trying to notch this up as a win. This is not a win, guys. Kilmar Garcia finding out why he's coming back to the United States. Oh, no. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. This is Pam Bondi issuing this order, ladies and gentlemen. And, well, we want to see a lot more of this.
Conspiracy to commit alien smuggling in violation of Title 8 U.S.C. 1324. We want to thank President Bukele for agreeing to return Abrego Garcia to the United States. Our government presented El Salvador with an arrest warrant, and they agreed to return him to our country. We're grateful to President Bukele for agreeing to return him to our country to face these very serious charges. This is what American justice looks like. Upon completion of his sentence, we anticipate he will be returned to his home country of El Salvador. The grand jury found that over the past 9 years, Abrego Garcia has played a significant role in an alien smuggling ring. They found this was his full-time job, not a contractor. He was a smuggler of humans and children and women. He made over 100 trips, the grand jury found, smuggling people throughout our country, MS-13 members, violent gang terrorist organization members throughout our country. Thousands of illegal aliens were smuggled. This is especially disturbing because Abrego Garcia is also alleged with transporting minor children. The defendant traded the innocence of minor children for profit. There are even more disturbing facts that the grand jury uncovered. It is alleged this defendant is part of the same smuggling ring responsible for the death of more than 50 migrants in 2021 after the tractor trailer overturned in Mexico. This is part of that same ring. The defendant abused undocumented alien females, according to co-conspirators, who were under his control while transporting them throughout our country. This defendant trafficked firearms and narcotics throughout our country on multiple occasions. They were using vehicles, SUVs, with added seats in the back, floors that had been ripped out, guns, narcotics, children, women, MS-13 members. That is what the grand jury found. A co-conspirator alleged that the defendant solicited nude photographs and videos of a minor. A co-conspirator also alleges the defendant played a role in the murder of a rival gang member's mother.
Ladies and gentlemen, is the damning body cam footage uncovered by Fox News that shows the human smuggling operation. This guy's dead to rights.
Another shoe drops on the Maryland dad. He was a suspect in a human trafficking operation dating back 3 years. And Fox Digital just got their hands on the body cam. But you're seeing it here first. Tennessee Highway Patrol stopped Kilmar for speeding and noticed he had 8 other people in the car. All no luggage. Take a look.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Good, and you?
All right.
Everything good?
You got a bunch of people in here, don't you?
It's 1 for sick. Yes. Go back to work.
Gotcha. Where are you working at?
Where?
Where?
San Luis, Missouri.
Missouri?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I'm from to Maryland.
So where do y'all live at?
Where I live in? I live in Maryland.
Maryland?
Yeah, also.
Whose vehicle is it?
What, excuse me?
Whose car is it?
It's to my boss.
Your boss.
My boss, yeah.
Where's he live? Where's your boss live?
My boss right now is staying in Maryland, but he lives in Texas.
Okay.
In Houston, Texas.
After talking to Kilmar, the officers had no doubt he was trafficking.
You know what you got here, right? He's hauling these people for money. You got an ass hauler is what he's doing, but sometimes they commingle dope and
No. What?
he,
Did you see that squad in the back?
there's 8 people in there.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that. They put an extra row of seats in there.
Yeah. So he's getting paid to haul these people, probably to Maryland, I would say, if I had my
He
guess.
said they all work together. That's what he's telling me, but he's the only one that knows how
So,
English.
so let me ask you this: they don't have any luggage in there, right? And if you get them out, they're gonna have a tube of toothpaste and they're gonna have toothbrushes in their pockets. I guarantee it.
He's got $1,400 cash in his pocket in an envelope.
In the video, you can see one of the cops making a phone call. The body cam audio cuts out for 10 minutes. Sources told us that on that call was Joe Biden's FBI, which advised police not to detain Kilmar at the time. That source also tells us Highway Patrol called Biden's ICE, and they never showed up. Biden's guys said an MS-13 gangster, suspected human smuggler and wife beater, released into the country. God knows what he did and was never caught for it before Trump deported him. Primetime will keep digging and keep you posted when we find more.
And just because we love playing the oldies, here's President Trump just gutting ABC News over Kilmar Garcia being a criminal and a monster. Thing of beauty here. Let's go. Donald Trump clip. Thank you.
The person that you're talking about, you know, you're making this person sound, this is a MS-13 gang member, a tough cookie, been in lots of skirmishes, beat the hell out of his wife, and the wife was petrified to even talk about him, okay? This is not an innocent, wonderful gentleman from Maryland.
I'm not saying he's a good guy. It's about the rule of law. The order from the Supreme Court stands,
He came
sir.
into our country illegally.
You could get him back. There's a phone on this desk.
I could.
You could pick it up, and with all the power of the presidency, you could call up the president of El Salvador and say, send him back right now.
And if he were the gentleman that you say he is, I would do that.
But the court has
he's
ordered
not.
you to facilitate that.
I'm not the one making this decision. We have lawyers that don't want to do this.
But the buck stops in this office.
No. I follow the law. You want me to follow the law? If I were the president that just wanted to do anything, I'd probably keep him right where he is.
Supreme Court says what the law is.
Listen, I was elected to take care of a problem. It was a unforced error that was made by a very incompetent man, a man that turned out to be incompetent, that you always said was wonderful, a great genius, right? And now you find out, all of the media now, they're saying what a mistake they made. A man who was grossly incompetent allowed us to have open borders where millions of people flowed in. I campaigned on that issue. I wouldn't say it was my number one issue, but it was pretty close.
Right up there.
I campaigned on that issue. I've done an amazing job. I have closed borders. He said you couldn't do it. You wouldn't be able to do it. It would never happen. Well, it happened, and it happened very quickly. Wait a minute. When we have criminals, murderers, criminals in this country, we have to get them out, and we're doing it.
By law.
And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Well,
over
wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
He had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not
Don't
have the
do that.
letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshop, Terry. You can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry. Hey, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir. I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're there
in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
We'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at that,
Why don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested.